What's up, guys? I'm Travis, and you're watching Upgraded RC. Come on! Come on! Well, in this video, guys, we're going to give our front axle housing a little bit of love. We're going to beef up the axle housing with Vanquish's Stage 1 kit for the Wraith, which also uses the same AR60 axle, so we should have no problem bolting it up to ours. And in this kit, you're going to get their anodized aluminum high steer steering knuckles, which is going to give the drag link and tie rod a little bit more clearance from the ground and your obstacles. It also comes with the anodized aluminum C-hubs and the lockouts. Now, all of these are made from aircraft aluminum grade 6062, and then they anodize them in whatever color you want. I think there's like 7 or 8 different colors out there. We chose gray today, and I'm also going to be using Vanquish's heavy-duty truss on the axle. So between what we're doing here, guys, we're going to beef our axle up so that it can take more abuse. It's going to give us a very little bit more weight. I'm assuming that the steering is going to be very crisp and very clean now because we don't have plastic parts that are flexing on here. They're aluminum, and it should be a lot better. This is going to be a super simple upgrade video, guys, so go ahead and watch along, and the next one you're going to want to see what I'm doing on the next one. Anyway, I'm going to put a link to all of these parts in my description, but right now I'm going to go ahead and do a close-up for you guys so you can get the part numbers yourself. If you just want to do a screenshot or something to make it easy, sounds good to me. Let's get going. All right, so here's the Stage 1 kit for the Wraith, and your part number on this is VPS06511. Moving on to the Vanquish Heavy Duty Trusses. It's kind of cool, guys. They give you one for the front and one for the rear axle in this kit. And the part number on this one here is VPS04313. Now, if you guys are interested, I forgot to tell you what the price was on the Stage 1 kit, but on these trusses, there you go. It's $42.99 US. The Stage 1 kit, I paid $79.99 for it. And to make the steering knuckles really tight, guys, we're going to go ahead and use the Vanquish brass inserts that go into the steering knuckles. That's going to take up all that slop, and that's what's going to give us that crisp, clean steering. It'll work really good, and these are nice because you can replace them. Anyway, the part number for these, if you guys are going to use these, which I would highly recommend, is VPS07510. These were $6.99 for four of them, which will cover all the steering knuckles. And one other thing, I'll be using this here. Wow, got really blurry, didn't it? Hold on a second. There you go. Sorry about that. I've got some shims right here. This is Traxxas part number 1985, and it was $5 for, I believe there's 20 of them in here. These are 5mm axle shims. So in between the steering knuckle and where the axle shaft goes, you get a little bit of play sometimes. I'm not sure if I'm going to or not, but I've got some of these on hand to shim it up if necessary. All right, let's get on it. So let's open up the Stage 1 kit here and see what we get. Well, there's your aluminum C-hubs. Looks like they do come with the 4 Allens necessary to mount them, and you've also got the adjustment in here so you can move your C-hubs back and forth. You can rotate them to get the adjustment that you need. That's really cool. There's our high steering knuckles. Look like they're really high quality, just as I would expect from Vanquish. And it comes with the high steer as well. You can mount this to either side of your steering knuckle depending on where you're putting it at. And there's our lockouts, which also come with the bolts and nuts. Or Allens and nuts, I should say. Let's see what the truss has got in here. There was no instructions, by the way, in that package. Wow, that truss is really nice, guys. I thought it was going to be a little bit heavier than this. That doesn't really weigh anything at all. Very nice. All of this is CNC machined. And it comes with all the necessary hardware here. You've got all your Allens and everything else in there. A couple nuts, good to go. You can hook up all your control arms. This one even came with some instructions. I don't think we need the instructions, but it tells you where all of the Allens go, which one to put where. All right, and then obviously we've got our brass inserts here. Don't need to open that. I'm going to go ahead and rip my axle off so it'll be a little bit easier for me. I think you could do all of this by just supporting the front end and taking your wheels and tires off, and then you can get to most of this. Now, the truss, on the other hand, you're going to have to take off your servo mount to get the truss off, and the Allens go straight down, so with the bumper and everything in the way, I just think it would be easier to go ahead and take it off. That way I can clean it up a little bit too and maybe make some more adjustments. All right, so what we're going to do here, guys, I already took my tires and wheels off, so it'd be a little bit easier for you guys to see. I'm not going to go through this step by step, but I'm going to show you step by step what needs to be done. Now, the first thing I'd probably start with is right here you've got a grub screw to remove your hub. So go ahead and take that off. And by the way, guys, when I was talking about them shims I'll be using, right here, see that? I don't know if you can see me wiggling this, but right here in between your hub and your steering knuckle where the axle shaft goes through, I have a little bit of play. And I've noticed I've already got one shim in there right now. I don't know if I'm going to need to put that back in with these other steering knuckles. That's what I was saying. It's going to be different. So maybe we need one, maybe we need two, maybe we don't need any. We're going to find out. So go ahead and take your grub screw out and your hub off there. Next, I would go ahead and remove the Allen here that's holding on your tie rod on both ends. This will also release your drag link. Now, I'm going to go one step further here, guys. I'm going to remove it from my servo horn here because I'm going to go ahead and take the servo out so I can get to the truss after I take the axle off and stuff. Next, go ahead and remove the kingpins here on either side, which are just Allens that go ahead and go through and hold your steering knuckles on. And then you've got these two screws here, top and bottom, for your C-hubs. Now that's pretty much all you're removing for the Stage 1 kit on the front axle. On the rear axle with the lockouts, they take the place of the C-hubs here. So you can go ahead and do that. And then what I'm going to do is take off the suspension mounts in the front and the front control arms as well as the servo, and that'll pretty much just release the whole axle out, and I think it's going to be a lot easier to do it that way. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done. Your steering knuckles, the plastic steering knuckles, you'll have to take and remove the two bearings that go inside the steering knuckle as they are not included. Now, one other thing I want to tell you about when you are installing these C-hubs, okay, the C-hubs have two different pitches here. They're both different sizes. So you're going to want to install the larger side, the longer side here, down. Just like it came out of your kit, make sure you pay attention. You're going to want to install them down. And when you're putting these on the axle, let me see if I can bring this in here for you so you guys can see. When you're putting this on the axle, you want your C-hub ear here to be straight up and down and in line with this, which would mean the hole in the center of the axle is perfectly centered in the hole of the C-hub. That's about it. Go ahead and put that back together, and this is where you're going to want to use your brass shims here for the steering knuckles. These pieces right here are replacing these stock ones here. Welcome back, guys. I'm sorry I wasn't able to finish this build the same day I started it. I had prior engagements. Doesn't matter to you guys anyway. So we got it done now. I am super happy with the machine quality of this. I mean, these machinists did an awesome, awesome job on this. I'm sure it's all CNC. Their tolerances are zero. It's great. When you put that brass bushing in between the steering knuckle and the C-hub, it takes up everything. I mean, there's no movement here at all. I'll do a close-up here so you guys can see, and I'll go over what I did here. But I'm very, very happy with the quality of this, and it's just so smooth. There is no play whatsoever in it. I'm extremely happy with the quality of it. Let me show you what it looks like. Well, there you go. That'll give you guys a better view. And one thing I'd like to point out here that I thought was really cool, right here on top, what I would normally call the kingpin, Vanquish is just using regular Allens here, and the thing that's cool about it is you can just screw these all the way down until they bottom out, snug them up, and you're done. The adjustment is perfect. Usually on most of these steering knuckles, you have to take this bolt in and out until you get it just right to where it turns freely, but it's also fairly snug, you know. That was really cool. And they got zero tolerance on all their machining, so when you put this in, it's just perfect. So I thought that was great. The other thing is this steering bracket on top where your tie rod and drag link connect to. I showed you there was 4 holes on top of the steering knuckle. Well, what that's for is you can take the steering bracket and mount it on the other side. So say you have a steering servo on the inside of the axle instead of the outside, this setup would accommodate that. That was really cool as well. I did go ahead and add another 5mm washer here, or shim, in between the steering knuckle and the hub, and it took up all of my play, guys. There's nothing left anymore. I mean, it's still smooth, it's not stuck or nothing, and you want to make sure it still moves freely, but it took everything out. It's awesome. In between the steering knuckle and the C-hub, like I said before, there's zero play. I mean, it just worked out really good, and it is so smooth. I can't believe how smooth it is. As far as the C-hub adjustment that I was talking about earlier, you have 3 adjustments in here. Center is probably going to be what everyone's using, but what this adjustment is for is so that you can get your steering knuckle here straight up and down and in line with the axle. That's what you want. If you turn this down and it's straight up already, what's going to happen is instead of when you turn left, you turn left, when you turn right, you turn right. Now you're going to turn left and it's going to turn a little bit left and it's going to go down. And when you turn right, it's going to go a little bit right and it's going to go up because you've changed the caster values. So don't do that. That is only there so that you can keep your steering knuckle straight up and down. That's there to help you achieve that. Other than that, I thought it was great, guys. And as far as the truss goes, man, what can I say about the truss? It's beautiful. It gives it a great strength value. This whole thing is just super strong and solid now. I feel great about it. Let me show you the back and show you what I did back there. And guys, I wasn't going to put these on because my next video that I've got coming up, I got big plans for this rear axle, and I'll tell you what that is in a minute. But I went ahead and put these lockouts on here. They look great. They're super strong. And then we've got the truss on here once again. It looks fantastic and it stiffens up the axle a lot. So this is going to help us a little bit, not so much with performance, but with, wow, it's just going to be so much stronger and harder to destroy. So smooth. Well, one thing I forgot to mention to you guys, I did have to adjust both the tie rod and the drag link on the rod ends to get the correct steering that I wanted. That's one of the first things that you should do once you put this on here. Leave your tires off, leave the tie rod off completely and the drag link, and set your steering knuckles so that they are straight in line with your axle, perfect. Then go ahead and adjust your tie rod with the rod ends on either end, taking one turn on one side, one turn on another until you get it right. And it fits your knuckles so they're still straight. Then go ahead and put the drag link on and adjust that to where it fits up on the center of the servo horn with the servo horn dead center in the middle of its play, of its throw. So that helped out a lot. The other thing I'd like to say, guys, I know a lot of you guys are going to say, well, why didn't you just go get metal axles? Well, number one, they're all $300+ for what I'm looking at. Number two, they're quite a bit heavier than what I'm looking to do. And number three, I got most of the benefits of a solid axle out of what I did here today. And if we do go break this plastic housing, guess what? I got a couple more of these. They're $13 a piece, and I can just take everything off I just put on and put it on there, and I'm ready to go again. But these axles have been pretty stiff, pretty tough in the past. I'm very happy with them. I imagine this is going to make it that much better. Well, guys, that's all I got for you today. I did mention earlier that I would tell you guys what I'm doing on my next video, so here it is. My next video, we're going to do rear steer on this bomber. Okay, I'm going to add a Vanquish spool and universal shafts. I'm going to also put an underdrive kit in it, 4313, and then we're going to put another Reefs Raw 500 servo back here and all the steering kit you just seen today, and we're going to do rear steer on this. It'll be my first vehicle with rear steer, so we'll see how well that turns out. I'm waiting on 2 parts right now, and then I'm going to make that video for you guys and it'll be up. I'm also going to show you on the Spectrum DX5C that I have how you adjust everything for four-wheel steering, for crab walk, all that good stuff. We're gonna go through everything. But guys, that is my next video. Until then, go play, go have a great time, do whatever makes you guys happy. I'm gonna take this out, tear it up a little bit, and see how good this really was. Anyway, guys, I'm Travis. You're watching Upgraded RC. If you guys have any comments or questions or anything, please don't hesitate to leave them down there. I will get back with you as soon as I can, I promise. I don't know when it'll be, but I will answer your questions to the best of my ability. Guys, have a good one. Go play and get some fun in the sun for me. I'm Travis. Peace out.